I don't know why I went to college. That's it, isn't it? That's the only possible answer. Bah. Just had to double check OBS, Chan. Did it crash? Do I need to... I mean, it's still reacting to that. Okay. Everything else, they're all just things I've been told by other people. They're the things a normal person would say in this situation. Things I tell other people when they ask about my plans for the future. I do want to go to college, though. I really do. However... Okay, you win, Emil. I know this probably makes me sound like an idiot, but I don't know the exact reason I want to go to college. But it doesn't matter, because I know for certain that college is the place I want to be. And that's not something any of you can change. I try my best to be assertive with the last bit. He probably thinks I'm fool for saying something so willfully ignorant. But with any luck, it'll be enough to discourage him from trying to start up another debate. A second or two of cold, cruel silence passes before Emil finally speaks. You're a good man, Oliver. It may have taken a bit, but you got there. I simply loathe having to play such an antagonistic role, but it was worth it to hear you finally say that. You were able to table your pride in the name of truth, even if it meant losing. And that's a good sign. A really good sign, even. He's congratulating me? Why is he congratulating me? Is this pity? It doesn't feel like pity. You knew the whole time, didn't you? You were testing me? Naturally. I've known you for a long while. It was clear that, outside of tagging along with Violet, you had no idea why you wanted to go to college. But if I simply told you this, it would have been easy enough to dismiss. The truth is meaningless if it's something another person simply hands to you. But if you're made to say it out loud, to say it to yourself, only then does it have a chance to become the truth. So you manipulated me. Kind of a dick move, Emil. Not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Oliver. But it was the only option I had. The truth is that college is a fine choice for lots of people, and for all I know, it could do wonders for you. But you're not even aware of why you still want to go there. But don't you think that's a bit of an issue? The insinuations are beginning to make my blood boil. I'm so sick of this crap. I'm so sick of being manipulated. Who cares, Emil? Why don't we talk about what's really going on here? If the truth is something you value so much, then why not say it? You want me to stay in Siren's call? That's it? This isn't about finding the truth or any of the nonsense. You're trying to manipulate me. It's not complicated. All I am is a commodity to you people. Something to be indulged in and consumed. You didn't have any friends before, and so now all of them are moving out their lives. You're starting to crack, aren't you? You're only being selfish. Admit it. Admit it, Emil. You'll feel so much better about yourself if you do, right? Right? I slammed the ball in Emil's court with as much force as I can possibly muster. I know he probably doesn't deserve this level of animosity, but I can't help myself. He took advantage of me just to make some stupid point, and now he's trying to use that to tie me down. But this isn't over yet. I can still fight back. I can still win. Emil sighs. It's sad that you have grown to think so little of me in such a short amount of time. That's not going to work on me, dude. I've seen how you fight. I know you're tougher than that. You're not going to get any pity points from me, so stop wasting your time. You're being a bully, and you're being a manipulative prick. How am I supposed to trust anything you say at this point? Everything I've done only to help us reach the truth. I'm just trying to help you, Oliver, to put your needs first. Then prove it. Prove to me right now that what you've been saying is for my benefit. Prove to me that you're not just trying to keep me in this crappy little burg until I die. Prove it, Emil. Where's the evidence? You always have some sort of comeback, right? So where is it? Where is it, Emil? What was that sound? Emil reaches his wallet and slams a thin, rectangular piece of paper onto the table. He then leaves the room without saying a word. I flipped the paper over and began reading it. Shit. Do I ever get to actually read what was on the paper? After scouring the school for a few minutes, I'm able to locate Emil, resting against the glossy door of locker 714. I throw myself on the floor next to him, doing my best not to fall backwards into the thin metallic gap behind me. Isn't it a pretty bad idea to leave something as valuable as a plane ticket with a bully like me? I can always print out another one at the library. It doesn't matter, not really. So you're flying up to Maine, huh? Is this something you've been planning to do for a while, or... It's a recent development, if that's what you're asking, but not an unprecedented one. Huh, do you have family there? I think the odd thing is this. We're currently in Florida. You lived with your grandma in, I think Oregon, which is the complete other side of the country from Maine. Both really cold places, though. With 3 of us gone, the Midnight Guard is but a shell of its former self. I was planning to continue my research regardless, but emotions scatter remains of Locker 713. Right. Why Portland, though? Do you have family up north or something? But it said Maine. Portland's in Oregon, and he's mentioned before he's originally from Portland, right? No, I spent a weekend there with my youth group once, but that was it. Other than lodging, there's nothing waiting for me in Maine. Nothing at all. That's depressing. So you've been grilling me about going to college this whole time, but you're totally fine moving up to Portland on a whim? There's no whimsy in what I'm doing, Oliver. I need to leave this place. Here, we went easy and are comfortable. Comfortable enough to die. But I'm 18, I'm too young to retire. I need to be somewhere where I can feel my growing pains. You're making no sense right now. If living in Siren's Call is easy, then why would you shoot yourself in the foot by going somewhere else? You've never been one to turn away an easy win, amigo. Losing has its benefits. I've come to realize that losing may feel bad in the moment, but nothing mirrors death more than the comfort of being undefeated. Do you remember last year when we learned about I have no idea how to pronounce that. I remember on flashcards you and Judith made. After that, I guess it just kind of slipped my head. Out of my mind. Heh? Did it now. Regardless, it's an alarming concept. The basic idea is that your life as a child never ends up dying. It will eventually consume you. That if your life... Okay. Not so long ago, it was common for most cultures to have rituals that result in death of your childhood as a preventative measure. Your friend's family would bury you alive or throw you in a cave or leave you far away from home. I assume that college is supposed to be the modern equivalent of these rituals, but as often the case this day and age, those youthful connections are never actually severed. Not really. Okay, there's nothing wrong with staying in contact with friends from your youth, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying things you enjoyed as a child, even as you get older. I will always enjoy anime and video games. And because of the ritual, the college isn't meaningful. Your brain never matures. You stay young and dependent forever because those who love you never fully let go. There's nothing wrong with having people you love or love you. If anything, it's kind of childish to run away from those things. But we must let go. We must lose something. It's the only way we become who we're meant to be. It's the only way. It's the only way I know of. And so I'm making my own rite of passage before reality catches up to me. Because it always does, Oliver. Always. I no longer wish to compare myself to you. I no longer wish to be in the service of sleep. What do you mean? I simply want to live. I want to live. Where did all this come from? This isn't right. If Emil really wanted to leave, then I would have known, right? I would have been involved somehow. I would have been needed. You're being stupid. What about Judith? Sure, most of us are leaving, but that only makes it so there's more room in her life for you, right? Emil laughs. And thus the final carrot has been dangled in front of me. I have no intentions of weighing Judith down with my desires, Oliver. Not anymore. I may be idealistic at times, but I'm no simpleton. I will present no overgrown child for her to nurture. Judith is free to live as she wishes, just as she always has been. After all, you're not the only one who can benefit from a clean start. And unlike you, it's pretty clear that Judith knows what she wants out of all this. I feel like that's something worthy of our respect, don't you? So you're just going to give up on her? Is that it? Is that really your definition of respect? You'll just fly away? Fly on out of our lives? Thought shit like that was selfish, Emil. It might be, to some degree. There's a hopeful, selfish curiosity to it. More like how I was curious. To see if you were responsible for Andy and Ashton's departure. But as it turns out, they didn't need you to leave. Them leaving has nothing to do with us. Nothing? Nothing at all. At least from what I can gather. Them leaving was likely just another selfish act completely independent of you. Just like how it is for me. But even if that's true, I still forgive them. I forgive them for being selfish. Why should you? Because if there is ever time in our lives to be that way, it's now. We're finally adults, we have to act. Otherwise, everything's about people will become is going to be decided for us. So yes, I may admire Judith, but I'm not going to die for her. And I'm not going to die for you either, Oliver. If that makes me a villain in your eyes, then so be it. But I don't think we're important enough to be villains, or heroes, or even heroes for that matter. I think we're just people. And people only have complete control over themselves. I can't control what you or Judith think of me for leaving, but I can control how I feel about it. And that control will be the key to victory, my victory. Emil leans back on his heels and launches himself up off the floor in one swift, vigorous motion. Can I have my ticket back by any chance? I'd prefer not to walk back to the library if I don't need to. Sure. Dumbfounded, I do as I'm told, and hand Emil back his ticket. He stuffs it in his shirt pocket and nods solemnly. I'd like to apologize, by the way. Not just for deceiving you earlier, but for how small a role we've played in all this. I too felt helpless after everybody started leaving. I really did. I felt like I should have been able to do more to keep them around. I thought I was enough. I thought we were enough. But there's worse things than being small, and there's worse things than losing someone, I promise. Yeah, well, if you're really sorry, then be real with me. What other times have you lied, Emil? You are a research guy. You knew more about sirens than any of us. So tell me, did you ever lie about them? Did you ever lie about the underworld? If you're really leaving for good, then you shouldn't have any problem with telling me that, right? The sound of me taking a screenshot. Emil closes his eyes and lets out a long, heavy sigh. All right, that's fair enough. No, I've never lied to you about the sirens or the underworld. Everything I've written on those creatures is a one-to-one representation of how they are meant to work. But you should ask yourself this. What does a siren look like? Huh? What are you talking about? What does a siren look like, Oliver? I want you to tell me. After that, you never have to speak to me again if you don't want to. But please, as your friend, in your own words, what does a siren look like? They live on rocks in the underworld and attack us from there. They're strange, they're uncanny to behold, right? Emil puts his hand on my shoulder. I see. So that's where we're at. Don't worry, Oliver, you shouldn't worry. You may be small, but you aren't powerless. You have all the skills you need to win your life back. You're not Marisol. You're not Raymond. You're not the people you've read about. Emil moves past me and begins walking down the hall. And I may not want to be anything like you, but that doesn't mean I'm not rooting for you. I'm still rooting for you. Remember that. And just like that, Emil leaves me behind in the hallway. He leaves. He didn't need my help. None of them did. I wasn't needed at all. I never was. He'll get plenty far too. They all will. Leave. They'll all be leaving soon enough. But then where does that leave me? Journal page 47. So freaking tired after that. Passing by Violet's house on the way to the beach reminded me I could just sleep. I don't think anybody would begrudge me for sleeping at this point. And it would come so easy, like gravity forcing cool water down a dry, cracked throat. Like laying on my back, drifting out to sea. We are walking around in our bathrobe, even though we're still wearing clothes under it. But I'm running out of time. I can't sleep away my chances to do this right. Hey there, love pup. How goes it? Hold that thought, okay? I'm almost done here. Wait, really? You're almost done with the painting? The one that you're doing of the siren that was the boss of all the sirens, the final boss of our Persona game. Yes, just give me a couple more minutes and then I'm all yours. Wait, really? You're almost done with the painting? Even though it said 47. The six of us looked basically indistinguishable with our caps and gowns on. It's like polar opposite of how it was at the prom. We're less like thieves and now are more like soldiers. Soldiers. Warriors marching bravely into the battlefield of adulthood. Hoorah, hilarious. It's comical how our homogeneity is on display for all to see. The school must be proud. Violet still looks beautiful, though. Even with the goofy black sack draped over her body, and a perfectly square hat on her head, she still looks beautiful, and I don't think anything will ever change that. I really, really need to make sure I don't mess this up, though, alright? I'll be quiet. Got it. I sit down next to Violet in the sand and do my best to not be a distraction. The look of concentration on her face is absolutely commanding. It's as if nothing else in the world exists for her. There is only her goal and the will to see it through. I love her when she's like this. Normally it feels like the whole world has the heat of its eyes turned to me, but Violet only looks at what she needs to. I could honestly do this forever, simply admiring her focus, scanning the way her hands move with such deliberation and purpose. But I'm not allowed, am I? She's in the endgame now. There won't be much left of us for us after this. And after she's gone, after she's done doing what she needs to do. Okay, I'm calling it. I think we're done here. I don't think it's gonna get much better than this, unfortunately. But it's out of the brain and onto the canvas, so that's what matters. As expected, the ground around us begins to lightly rumble. Without saying a word, Violet turns away from her painting and looks to the sky. Her expression is heartrending, but restful. The face of a true artist. My numb fingers reach for her hand and slide down the shallow canals. Canals? I think it's pronounced canals. I mean, obviously Panama Canal. But it just feels weird to say it as canals on her palm. It sounds odd. I expect her skin to be warmer here. Warm from use and purpose, but instead it's cold. But it's cold, like the bottom of the ocean. Like a bed of wet sand. So I watch the rocket go. I watch until it is pushed from our vision. Humans sure are lucky, aren't they? Fish gotta live in water, and crabs have to live in the sand. But people can just go wherever they like. It doesn't matter if it's hard, or dangerous, or entirely pointless. If our species wants to go somewhere badly enough, then it's inevitable. Rockets prove that. Only human beings would be wistful enough to come up with such an insane concept. They're the ultimate symbols of our ambition and curiosity. You're lucky to be a part of such a blessed group, Oliver. Even if things are tough right now. You're still very, very lucky. I'm lucky. Well then, so are you, Vi. I know you might never be able to go to the moon or whatever, but that doesn't make you any less human. Never, huh? You know, I've been hearing that word a lot these past couple years. Never ride a bike, never drive, never forget your meds, never leave home without wearing your helmet. Never be alone, unless it's somewhere with lots of soft floors. It's funny, back in middle school they used to tell us we could do anything with our lives. But then a couple dozen seizures happen out of nowhere, and suddenly your life becomes a veritable laundry list of never-evers. Never going into space, never wearing one of those cool, glossy helmets. I wasn't trying to be that specific, Violet. I mean, I'm pretty sure 99.99% of humans aren't going to go to space, and even then, that's still making it sound more optimistic. And even then, I don't think I would ever want to go to space. I don't think I'd feel comfortable with it. The school sends some paraprofessional into town with $20, and here's your helmet. Like a helmet does fuck all when your eyes roll over and the fragile boat of your body ends up drifting in oncoming traffic anyway. And so you paint, because unlike sports or anything else worth doing when you're 12, it's safe. Then, one day you wake up and find that you've spent the past 6 years painting all the places you'll never ever go. I'm sorry. Don't be. There's no one to blame. Sickness is just one more part of the universe for us to conquer. My only real sin was that I was born too early. One of the many, countless vague anachronisms. You're not like me, though. You have your own tempo that's unique to you. You can step back into the world again if you really want to. Because all of your remaining barriers are social. They're man-made. If they're made by humans, they can be destroyed by humans. And you're as human as they come, Oliver. That makes me happy. I'm happy you still have control over your body. I'm happy you'll be able to venture forth and see what's out there. Because there's so much out there, Oliver. There's so much. Violet lets go of my hand and checks the time on her phone. So get on out there and use that luck. Use it for both of us. For both of us? Wait, does that mean... Stop it. Stop what? Stop talking like it's impossible for you to still come with me. This is it, isn't it? This'll be my chance. This might be my chance. This might be my last chance to keep her in my life. I know you weren't able to graduate, but does that really matter? We don't need to be dating. You're my friend. I'll protect you. Oliver. You can stay in my room while I'm in class. No one will ever even know. There's lots you can get away with when no one's looking. That's why you never told anyone you were at the beach, right? You just walk on over here when we're all still asleep, even though it's still dangerous. Yeah, but we're forgetting the journal entry. That one, Violet hates the beach. And two, Violet, at least according to the journal entry, would never choose to come here voluntarily unless a bunch of people forced her. So, something's not as it seems. That's it, right? Yeah, it is. We are walking around in the bathrobe, man. See? You're no stranger to being impulsive. You love the beach. You adore the beach. So that's where you run to. Thing is this, she doesn't. She hates the beach. It said so in a journal entry that we ourselves wrote. Something's not as it seems, and something's wrong with our memory here. So just run a little further, Violet. Run away with me. Please? Just do what you want. That's all that really matters when you could die at any moment, right? I see. A vague, helpless feeling. That's all this ever was. That's your moon. That's what's been calling out to you. That's what's been bringing you here. What? Ah, remember our ice cream was Blue Moon. Oliver, you know for a fact that I hate the beach. I always have. I mean, yeah, I did write that. The nagging seagulls, the way the ground just clings to you. It's like, but yeah, we wrote in the journal that we wrote ourselves that she hates the beach and that she'd only ever go here if she was forced to. And even then, probably the only time she's ever been here is maybe once or twice ever. And yet the entire game, she's been basically living here. Our first conversation back in junior was about how overrated this place was. I'd never willingly choose to plant myself here. No, that's not... I take a taxi to the beach every morning because, even from 5 feet up, the sand is soft enough to cushion a fall. Me? Impulsive? Oh, please. The beach is just one of the few places I can truly be alone without worrying about splitting my head open. I mean, it is described as the safest place when we click on the map. Don't you see? What I want isn't all that matters, Oliver. And how could it be? I'm not breezy or rich enough to just live in the moment or whatever. I can't ignore it all like I'm some sort of brainless fairy tale gremlin. That might be someone's reality, but it's not mine. And if I'm going to keep on living, I have to acknowledge what makes my head different from everyone else's, even if I despise it. That's why I'm here. That's what it really means to need something, a mundane, all-consuming dependency. It's not some vapid impulse. It has nothing to do with what I want. And agreeing to be your roommate didn't have much to do with you either. It didn't? When you say it as agreeing to be my roommate, it sounds like you were resentful of it from the very start, which... Sad face? It's not that I didn't adore you, but living with someone who loves me, someone who obviously loves me, was the only thing that sold my family on college being safe. I mean, technically that line of reasoning is true. I mean, you know, if you're with somebody who loves you, they'll do everything they can to try to keep you safe because they care about you so much. That's why we agreed to do it, right? Being with you was the only thing that made them think everything would be okay. But even then, I never needed you, Olive. Not really. Well, that's... Slightly confused, sad face. But do you even want to be needed? Do you really want to be reduced to something as mundane as water or food or safety? Do you want the whole of your existence to be a begrudging necessary part of my own? Do you want to be the center of this universe? Because after having to sleep with my door open for 6 years, I can say with conviction that there's nothing I want more than my own space. And we're the same that way, Oliver. I know we are. Can't you see it? I don't want to run away with you. I don't need you to be my hero. There are no heroes in Siren's Call. There's only us. And I need us to live. Is that really so hard to understand? I can't keep her around. I can't do it. Come with me. Come with me to college. No. Please? I can't. Why not? Why is it like this? Why am I like this? Why does everyone end up going away? It can't end like this. I did everything I could. It can't end like this. She's lying. She's lying. She's trying to get me to hate her, so I'll be more okay with us breaking up. No, it's not just that. She's wrong. She has to be. There's nothing bad about needing someone. That's what couples do. That's what friends do. They need each other. Friends protect each other. Friends need each other. Friends need each other. Oliver? Friends? Friends protect each other. That's why they're important. That's how it goes. That's their job. That's how we survived. That's how we were able to survive all of this. That's how we were able to fight. That's how we were able to kill the... Of course. The sirens. The sirens are the key to everything. If what Violet said is true, if independence is really what she wants, then she would have never wanted to depend on me. She wouldn't have followed me into the underworld, not even once. But Violet saved my life, and I've saved hers. Countless times, and I can prove it. What does the siren look like, Violet? The siren the six of us fought with our back to the wall. The siren that burned into your memory. The siren that's burned into your memory. What does it look like? That's right. Even if I can't describe one perfectly, a painting's worth 1,000 words. And 1,000 words should be more than enough for me to win this. That's right, Emil. I can still win. I can still win. I grab the back of Violet's painting, flip it over,